And let's talk about predicting a monster game from Jalen Milroe. I think, it might be cliche, but I think big-time players rise up in big-time games. The first thing that Jalen Milroe talked about yesterday was the fact that he's feeling very confident going into a game like this. And you might be like, wow, like it might be arrogant. But if you know Jalen Milroe, he's not an arrogant person. But confidence comes from being prepared. When you are prepared and you understand the schematics of your own team, your own offense, when you're just prepared and a prepared individual, it doesn't matter whatever you're doing, you are more confident because of your preparation. And that's something that certainly starts for Jalen Milroe, but along with the coaching staff. So I'm not surprised to hear him say that he feels confident going into this game against Tennessee. I don't think that was a gut punch at Tennessee at all. I think he's just confident in the players that he has around him, and he's confident in the abilities that he has within himself. When you look to Jalen Milroe this season, and we'll get to this weather report in just a minute, brought to you by North Alabama Storm Chase. But Jalen Milroe this season, look, did he have his best game last week? No, not at all. Like, that was his worst game out of all the games we played so far. Facts. Those are facts. Like, you can't deny that. That was the game that, he threw 2 interceptions, which were directly on him. But when you zoom out in life, you get a better understanding of what exactly is going on. I mean, there isn't another quarterback, in my opinion, throughout the entire season, and we could go to Quinn, we go to Cam Ward, that is putting up numbers like this against quality competition, right? I mean, the first 2 games, kind of light work. I mean, I think against South Florida, he kind of had to do his thing because South Florida was punching like they were. And then against Wisconsin, it was still light work in my opinion. But where we've continued to see growth is that game against Georgia and against Vanderbilt. I mean, look at those numbers. They speak for itself. So we've played 6 games. This is incredible that he has 1,800 yards all-purpose. He has 23 touchdowns and is responsible for 62 points this season for the Crimson Tide. So a lot of production by Jalen Milroe. And I think in a game like this, while we want to see more production from the running backs, maybe we'll see it at some point. Maybe there's a game where you see Jam Miller have 20 carries. I kind of think that's not going to be the case. Now, the offense will completely change next year under Ty Simpson, right? But right now, I mean, look, the way that Jalen Milroe is able to limit the wear and tear because his off the field preparation, his body type, the ability to throw, make big throws downfield, the ability to run. Like, he is the most challenging player every single week to prepare for. And I think in a game like this, he could put the team on his back. And, you want the player with the football that's the best on the team to have the ball, and that is Jalen Milroe. Whether you like the offense or whether you don't, like, this is the guy that can take you as far as you want to go. So, the design runs, the deep balls, that's part of Alabama's offensive identity. And when we start to look to Alabama's offensive identity, I think we're starting to see it. Look, it's Jalen Milroe predicated, right? You have some running backs that certainly step up when they're called on, Jam Miller, Justice Haynes, but it's Jalen Milroe, his offense, and what he's going to be able to do. So I think he has a really big game against Tennessee. I really do. I think you're looking at somewhere between, 250 all-purpose yards, maybe 300 all-purpose yards and 4 touchdowns. All right. So, yeah, and Bama Mike, what's up, man? Best teams are quarterback-led. I mean, that's a really great point. You can even transition that into the NFL, right? I appreciate it. And I checked the Heisman rankings this morning. Jalen Milroe is a little bit lower. I think the running back from Boise State is now the favorite. Cam Ward's up there, of course, after his exceptional play. Dylan Gabriel's climbing after a really impressive win over Ohio State. But Jalen Milroe is still in there. I think he's like 4th or 5th or something like that. So I'm just predicting a really big game from Jalen Milroe. That's probably not surprising to hear, but I think that, in a game like this on the road, you go with Jalen Milroe. And the other thing before I get to my next cut is the fact that Jalen Milroe, he's been able to perform really well on the road in big game situations. And I say again, this is a big game, right? Big SEC type game. Think about it. On the road at Auburn last year, Jordan Hare, dude comes with it in a 4th and 31 situation, right? You look at the way that he played last year, people are like, well, they've never gone on the road and faced a hostile environment. You remember the environment at Texas A&M last year? Look, Neyland Stadium is really loud. And people are going to be all over it 100%. But Texas A&M and Kyle Field, yo, that stadium's crazy. I was kind of wondering, though, about the helmet communication and how that works. I would like to see literally like the helmet. Maybe I'll look it up on YouTube, or if there's a video, someone send it to me. But like, what is it? Is that it goes into obviously like the ear pad, and it has to be like military grade because these guys are taking some hits. Patriot Life in with a $25 super chat on Happy Hump Day. He says that Vol suck, and even the super chat came in orange. I don't know if that was designed, but we appreciate it, Patriot Life. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Shamika saying you hear it in the stands. What do we hear, Shamika? The problem is he's playing for the Heisman at the expense of the team. I mean, look, they're going to ride Jalen Milroe absolutely 1,000,000%. And I think, like, when you look to the running, like, I would think that if the offense is struggling, which they are, you would play more time of possession football, right? Like feed jam. Sprinkle it out to Justice Haynes. That's not the case. You spread out the team and you have these design runs, or you have some option reads for Jalen Milroe. I mean, they're scoring 41 points a game, right? All right. So welcome to my Wednesday show. I appreciate you guys.